Hello, friends, and welcome back to the Ease of English. If this is your first time here, we're really glad you found us. If you've been listening since episode 1, thanks for sticking around.
We like to think of this show as two friends having real conversations, the kind you might overhear at a cafe, on a walk, or sitting on a park bench watching the world go by.
And today we're talking about something that makes a lot of people nervous, even in their own language, small talk.
Yeah, that light, polite conversation you have with strangers, coworkers, neighbors, or people you don't know very well.
It's not deep, it's not dramatic, but it is very important in everyday English, and honestly, in everyday life.
You'll hear small talk in elevators, coffee shops, offices, waiting rooms, grocery lines, buses, trains, and pretty much anywhere people stand near each other for more than 30 seconds.
So today, we're going to share 2 real-life small talk moments, one from Brian, one from me, and then unpack some useful language along the way.
As always, you don't have to catch every word. Just relax, listen, and let the conversation wash over you like background music.
All right, story time. What happened to you?
So, my small talk moment happened in an elevator last week. I was heading up to my office, holding my coffee in one hand, my phone in the other, trying to look like someone who had their life together.
Very convincing, I'm sure.
Extremely convincing. Anyway, the doors closed and there was just one other person in there with me, someone I'd never seen before, wearing a very serious expression and carrying a very large stack of papers.
Classic small talk setup.
Exactly. For a few seconds, we both just stood there in silence, staring straight ahead, like we were in a very polite staring contest.
The somebody say something energy.
Yes, that exact energy. You could almost feel the social pressure in the air.
And then what happened?
They broke first. They looked at me and said, "Busy morning?"
That is textbook small talk.
Right? Not too personal, not too weird, just friendly enough to be polite.
So what did you say?
I said, "Yeah, pretty busy. Lots of emails," which was true, but also the safest possible answer in human history.
Safe answer.
Very safe. Then they nodded and said, "Same here." And for a moment, we just stood there.
Awkward silence?
A little. Not painful, but definitely noticeable. Like when a song almost starts playing but then doesn't.
That's a perfect description.
I could feel myself thinking, do I keep talking? Do I stop? Do I stare at the floor? Do I look at the ceiling?
So what did you do?
I decided to keep it going. I said, "How about you? Are you busy too?" They laughed and said, "Always." Then they added, "At least it's almost lunchtime."
That is such a small talk thing to say.
Exactly. It's like a built-in conversation extender.
And then?
Right as I was trying to come up with something clever, which to be fair was probably not going to happen, the elevator doors opened. We both said, "Have a good day," and walked out in opposite directions.
Perfect escape.
Honestly, it wasn't amazing, but it wasn't bad either. Just normal, slightly awkward, slightly friendly, very human.
All right, my turn. Mine happened in a coffee shop on Sunday morning.
Let me guess. Long line, lots of people, everyone pretending to be patient.
Exactly. I was standing in line, scrolling on my phone, half awake, half dreaming about my future coffee, when the person in front of me turned around and said, "This line is taking forever, huh?"
Another classic opener.
Right. So I smiled and said, "Yeah, it's a little slow today." Then they said, "At least the coffee's worth the wait."
That's actually a nice line.
It was. So I said, "Definitely. I come here all the time." And suddenly we were talking.
Then what?
They asked, "Do you work nearby?" And I said, "Yeah, just a few blocks away." Then I asked them the same thing, and they said they worked across the street.
So it turned into an actual conversation.
Short one, but real. We talked about how crowded the cafe gets in the mornings, how long we'd each been working in the area, and how much we both rely on coffee to function.
That sounds much less awkward than my elevator.
It was. By the time we reached the counter, it felt natural, not forced at all.
Did you both order right away?
Yes, I ordered my usual latte, and they got an iced coffee. We smiled, said, "Have a good day," and went our separate ways.
So, two very different flavors of small talk.
Exactly. Yours was brief and slightly tense. Mine was friendly and easy.
Which honestly is a good reminder. Small talk doesn't always have to be perfect, it just has to be polite and human.
And sometimes it can even be kinda nice.
Absolutely.
All right, it's time for this week's vocabulary moment.
This is where we look back at a few words we used and talk about them together. The way friends might, not like a dictionary.
So let's start with awkward.
Yeah, awkward is that feeling when something's a little uncomfortable but not a disaster. Like a pause that lasts just a bit too long.
Right, you might say, that was an awkward silence, or I felt awkward at the party, or even, that was an awkward hug.
Another important word from your story is busy.
That's one of the most common small talk words in English.
Exactly. If someone asks, busy day, you can just say, yeah, pretty busy. You don't have to explain your entire life.
It's like a polite shorthand for, I have things going on.
Yes, perfect way to put it.
From my story, let's talk about crowded.
Crowded means there are a lot of people in one place.
So you might say, the cafe was crowded, or the subway was really crowded this morning, or the concert was way too crowded.
Another good one is line.
Right, a line is when people are waiting their turn, like at a coffee shop, grocery store, or movie theater.
You could say, the line was really long, or I waited in line for 20 minutes.
And we should add small talk itself.
Yes, small talk is light, friendly conversation. Not deep, just polite and social.
Like talking about the weather, your day, or how slow the coffee line is.
Exactly.
Let's add one more useful word, comfortable.
Oh, that's a good one.
Comfortable means you feel relaxed, not nervous or tense. You might say, I felt comfortable talking to them, or this cafe is very comfortable.
Let's say those words again together. Awkward, busy, crowded, line, small talk, comfortable.
We'll keep building this vocabulary in future episodes.
In our stories this episode, you heard some very common small talk questions. Busy morning? How's your day going? Do you work nearby? Nice weather, isn't it? Did you have a good weekend?
Take a second and think quietly. Do you enjoy small talk, or does it make you nervous?
Now, let's look at a small but powerful language nuance, softening your answers.
In English, people often avoid sounding too blunt.
For example, instead of saying, I'm busy, you might say, I've been pretty busy.
Instead of, it's crowded, you might say, it's a bit crowded today.
Instead of, I don't like it, you could say, I'm not really a fan of it.
Those little words, a bit, kind of, pretty, maybe, I think, make you sound more polite and natural.
Let's hear a few examples.
Direct, I'm tired. Softer, I'm a little tired.
Direct, it's slow. Softer, it's a little slow today.
Direct, that's bad. Softer, that's not great.
In small talk, this kind of softer language makes conversations smoother and more comfortable.
So we've heard two very different small talk moments today.
Mine, short, slightly awkward, but totally normal.
And mine, friendly, easy, and chatty.
Neither is better, they're just different.
Before we go, let me ask you something.
Go ahead.
If you had to choose elevator small talk or coffee shop line small talk, which would you pick?
Coffee shop, without hesitation. At least there's caffeine. What about you?
Same. I'll take coffee over an elevator any day.
That brings us to the end of episode 4 of The Ease of English.
Thanks for spending some time with us today.
In our next episode, we'll talk about talking on the phone in English, another situation that can feel tricky.
Until next time, keep listening, keep learning, and remember, English can feel easy.